Have you ever, in your daily life, spoken too much and caused many unfortunate disasters or messed up many things? It is said that when Laozi was young, he served as a librarian in the Zhou dynasty court. His intelligence and wisdom made him a well-known sage in the area, and many people came to consult him. However, Laozi often answered questions with short, implicit language, which gave his views more depth and wisdom. One day, a young man came to Laozi, hoping to learn how to become an outstanding leader. Laozi simply replied, "Act without action, manage without meddling, and savor without indulgence." This means that a good leader should let things develop naturally and govern effortlessly, not interfere too much, allowing things to run at their own pace, and exercise restraint, avoiding excessive pursuit of material pleasure. This simple answer greatly benefited the young man and sparked his interest in Taoist thought. This story demonstrates how Laozi successfully applied the principle of, the more words, the greater the chance of error, and expressed the wisdom of leadership in minimal language. His words were inspiring, thought-provoking, and generated a strong interest in Taoist thought among people. Su Shi was a versatile scholar of the Northern Song dynasty, and his poetry, lyrics, and prose all achieved high accomplishments. His literary creations were full of wisdom, often expressing profound insights with concise language. Once, Su Shi was appointed as the governor of Hangzhou, equivalent to the modern mayor. At that time, much of the land near Hangzhou's West Lake was occupied by temples, leaving farmers unable to cultivate. To solve this problem, Su Shi wrote a short letter containing only 2 words, "Move temples." These 2 words immediately made the receiving officials understand his intention, to relocate the temples so that farmers could cultivate the land. This decision eventually received the emperor's support and was implemented in Hangzhou, resolving the farmers' predicament. This story shows that Su Shi was adept at applying the principle of, the more words, the greater the chance of error, expressing his ideas with simple and clear language. His decisions were quickly and effectively communicated to relevant officials and received positive responses. This experience demonstrates the important role of the principle in political decision-making and communication. In ancient China, there was an official named Wang Chao. He stood out in the court due to his diligence and talent. However, he was too talkative and often discussed everything, which sometimes got him into trouble. One day, Wang Chao was summoned by the emperor, who wanted to hear his advice on national policies. Wang Chao passionately discussed various policies, expressing his views and even questioning some of the emperor's decisions. However, he neglected the principle of being cautious and respectful in front of the emperor. He spoke too much and too directly, which resulted in the emperor's dissatisfaction. The emperor thought Wang Chao did not adhere to the principle of, the more words, the greater the chance of error, showing disrespect to the emperor. As a result, the emperor dismissed Wang Chao and exiled him to a remote border area. This case demonstrates Wang Chao's failure to apply the principle, which brought serious consequences for him. This story tells us that following the principle of, the more words, the greater the chance of error, is very important in specific situations. Especially in cases involving power and status, excessive words may provoke unnecessary hostility and conflict, causing severe damage to one's prospects. The concept of, the more words, the greater the chance of error, comes from the 52nd chapter of Laozi's Tao Te Ching, an ancient Chinese philosopher. The meaning of this phrase is that when a person speaks too much, they are more likely to make mistakes or omit important information. In other words, expressing viewpoints in a simple and clear manner is more conducive to communication. This principle, rooted in ancient Chinese philosophy, serves as a reminder to be mindful of our words and choose them wisely, as the consequences of speaking too much or carelessly can be significant. Tao Te Ching, also known as Laozi or Tao Te Ching, is an ancient Chinese Taoist philosophical classic, authored by the founder of Taoism, Laozi. Laozi, 570 BC, 471 BC, born Li Er and also known as Li Dan, was the founder of the Taoist school. He lived during the spring and autumn period, and while there are many legends about his life, historical records are not complete. It is said that he once worked at the library of the Zhou dynasty, responsible for managing books and historical records, and was a learned scholar of the time. There are numerous legends about Laozi, one of the more famous ones being that in his later years, he left China and passed through the Hangge Pass. The pass's gatekeeper asked him to leave a classic of Taoist thought behind, and so Laozi wrote the Tao Te Ching. The Tao Te Ching contains 81 chapters and more than 5,000 words, mainly discussing the philosophy of Tao, the origin of the universe, and the manifestation of Tao. Laozi's philosophical views emphasize governing through inaction, advocating for following nature, restraining power, and reducing intervention to achieve harmony in society and individuals. In addition, he also advocated for moral concepts such as self-discipline, devotion to public duties, and upholding virtue. Laozi's ideas have had a profound influence on later generations, and the Taoist school gradually grew and became a major philosophical school alongside Confucianism. Today, the Tao Te Ching is still widely circulated around the world, seen as a condensed representation of Taoist thought, and has had a profound impact on the philosophy, culture, religion, and moral concepts of both the East and the West. Later, this concept was inherited and promoted by Lu Xiang, a literary scholar of the Han Dynasty. He wrote in New Order, "Frugality in speech, when words are in excess, mistakes are inevitable, refrain from speaking." This phrase became the main source of the idiom "excess words lead to mistakes." Here, excess words lead to mistakes means that speaking too much makes it easy to make mistakes. In ancient Chinese culture, this idea reflects the importance of caution in speech and self-cultivation. In ancient Chinese culture, the idiom "excess words lead to mistakes" and the underlying idea held significant status and meaning. This notion is embodied in the following aspects. Moral requirements for consistency in words and deeds. In ancient China, speech was considered part of one's character, and excess words could easily lead to trouble. Being cautious in speech, concise, and focused was a moral requirement emphasized in ancient Chinese culture, reflecting one's cultivation and character. Cultural traits advocating simplicity and tranquility. The idiom "excess words lead to mistakes" is closely related to the cultural traits of simplicity and tranquility in ancient China. Whether in literature, art, or daily life, straightforward expressions were often admired. The idiom emphasizes expressing thoughts with the shortest possible language, echoing this cultural trait. Manifestation of practical wisdom. In ancient Chinese culture, the idiom "excess words lead to mistakes" was also considered a manifestation of practical wisdom. The ability to control one's words and maintain silence when appropriate was regarded as a form of wisdom. This wisdom can help individuals avoid unnecessary trouble and misunderstandings, fostering harmony and balance in different social situations. Connection with Taoist philosophy. The idiom "excess words lead to mistakes" has a close relationship with Taoist philosophy. Taoism advocates following nature, governing with non-action, and pursuing inner peace and stability. Excess words lead to mistakes embodies this pursuit of inner tranquility, emphasizing that restraint in speech contributes to mental stability and self-cultivation. In summary, the idiom "excess words lead to mistakes" holds a significant position and meaning in ancient Chinese culture. It embodies moral requirements, cultural traits, practical wisdom, and its connection with Taoist philosophy, influencing people's behavior and cultural values. On November 19, 1863, Lincoln delivered a speech at Gettysburg in honor of the soldiers who had sacrificed their lives for their country. His speech was extremely brief, with only 272 words, but it profoundly expressed respect for the war casualties in very simple language and reaffirmed the importance of American national ideals. This short speech is considered one of the greatest speeches in American history, demonstrating the power of the principle that excess words lead to mistakes. The Gettysburg Address demonstrates how to use brief and powerful language to express deep emotions and perspectives. Lincoln did not overly describe the horrors of war or the expectations for the nation, but instead directly expressed his respect for the soldiers who had sacrificed their lives in the war, emphasizing the nation's ideals and goals. His concise, profound, and compelling words make this speech an eternal classic. This story tells us that following the principle of excess words lead to mistakes and using concise language to express our thoughts and emotions often produces greater impact and deeper meaning. Practical applications of the principle excess words lead to mistakes. Applying the principle of excess words lead to mistakes in everyday communication can help us express our views more effectively and avoid misunderstandings and conflicts. Here are some suggestions to help you practice this principle in your daily interactions. Concise expression. Strive to use simple, clear language to express your thoughts in communication. Avoid lengthy and convoluted expressions, making it easier for others to understand your point of view. Focus on listening. Maintain a listening attitude during conversations, giving others ample opportunity to express their opinions. Avoid interrupting or talking over others too much, and respect their right to speak. Thoughtful consideration. Before speaking, carefully consider your viewpoint and choice of words to ensure that your expression is truthful, accurate, and constructive. Avoid casually expressing opinions without thorough consideration. Timing. Choose the appropriate time and place to express your thoughts. Avoid talking excessively at inappropriate times to prevent unnecessary trouble. Avoid arguments. In communication, avoid excessive arguments with others. Sometimes, choosing to remain silent or expressing your opinion in a more tactful manner may achieve better results. Silence when appropriate. Sometimes, silence is more valuable than speaking. In certain situations, choosing to be silent can avoid pointless disputes and misunderstandings, and demonstrate your maturity and cultivation. The principle of more words, more mistakes has significant application value in various scenarios such as business negotiations, speeches, and writing. Here's an analysis of applying this principle in these situations. Business negotiations. Concise expression. In business negotiations, expressing needs and conditions clearly and simply can help the other party understand your position more quickly, improving negotiation efficiency. Listening. During negotiations, it is essential to listen to the other party's opinions and needs. By listening, you can better understand their needs and develop effective strategies. Emotional control. Avoiding excessive expression of emotions, staying calm and rational, helps maintain the negotiation atmosphere and progress. Speeches. Being organized. In speeches, organize your language to ensure clear and concise content. This helps the audience more easily understand and remember your points. Language restraint. Avoid overusing redundancies and modifiers, and keep language simple and clear. This helps improve the persuasiveness of the speech. Timely silence. Appropriate silence or pauses give the audience room for thought, helping them better digest and understand your points. Writing. Concise expression. In writing, strive to express your views with simple and clear language. Avoid lengthy sentences and paragraphs, making it easier for readers to understand your content. Word restraint. Use rhetorical techniques appropriately and avoid excessive modifiers and redundancies. This helps improve the readability and persuasiveness of the article. Organizational structure. Arrange the article structure reasonably, ensuring that each section connects with the context, making it easier for readers to follow your train of thought. In modern social media, the principle of more words, more mistakes becomes particularly important. In the social media environment, information spreads quickly and has a broad impact. Therefore, being cautious with words and expressing oneself moderately is significant for personal and social stability. Here are some aspects discussing the importance of this principle in modern social media. Fast information dissemination. On social media, information spreads rapidly, and an improper message could be forwarded and commented on by numerous users in a short time. Following the principle of more words, more mistakes, being cautious when speaking and sharing information can prevent unnecessary trouble and negative impact. Wide influence. Compared to traditional media, social media has a broader impact. In this situation, careless words can have negative effects on more people. Following the more words, more mistakes principle can help us better maintain our image and interpersonal relationships. Privacy protection. On social media, sharing too much personal life and thoughts can threaten individual privacy. The principle of more words, more mistakes reminds us to control our speech and sharing on social media to protect personal privacy and safety. Reducing misunderstandings and conflicts. On social media, the brevity and immediacy of verbal expression can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts more easily. The more words, more mistakes principle helps us express our opinions moderately, avoiding excessive rhetoric and unnecessary disputes. Improving communication effectiveness. On social media, clear and concise language is more likely to attract user attention. The more words, more mistakes principle can help us express our views more effectively, improving communication effectiveness. In summary, the more words, more mistakes principle has significant meaning in different situations. This principle can help us communicate information more effectively, avoid misunderstandings and conflicts, and demonstrate respect and caution in various contexts. Whether in daily communication, business negotiations, speeches, writing, or social media, following the more words, more mistakes principle will have a positive impact. In life, we should actively attempt to practice the more words, more mistakes principle. Moderately controlling our words helps improve communication efficiency, maintain interpersonal relationships, and make our speech more persuasive. At the same time, do not forget to listen to others, giving them full understanding and respect. I hope that everyone can experience the power of the more words, more mistakes principle in their future lives, making our words more concise, refined, and wise. I wish everyone continued growth, success, and happiness while following the more words, more mistakes principle. That's it for this episode, and we'll see you next time.